Do I give him another go after he dumped me for another girl?
I would not be giving him a second chance. This idea that like you can fix this Band-Aid of what he's going through by now you guys being back together and actually he just made a terrible mistake. It's great for him. It's a very dangerous place for you.
My partner and I were together for 2 years, lived together, we're speaking of marriage and kids within the coming year. Now, 8 months ago, something happened randomly and my partner started pulling away. He was just so checked out. He said he wanted to go to Bali with a mate, and when he returned, he dumped me 2 days later. Little did I know he found a new girlfriend in Bali, made it official, and hard launched their relationship on Instagram just 2 weeks later. I was beyond heartbroken. I moved back in with my parents and it was the worst time of my life. Now, fast forward 8 months, he's called things off with the new girl. He said he can't move on from me. He still loves me. He said he has realized what he's lost. He has massive issues and he's willing to do anything to fix this, including couples counseling and deleting his social media in order to gain my trust back. My whole family and friends hate him and I don't know what to do. Is it worth giving him another go and trust that he won't break my heart again? Or am I just risking ending up back at square one? Has too much damage been done?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I think from reading this. He did not find a girlfriend over in Bali.
He went to Bali.
He met her before Bali.
Yeah.
He met her here. He checked out because he had started to have feelings for someone else. He was confused, didn't know what he wanted. He went to Bali to be with her, decided in Bali that he was going to come home, break up with you, and then have that relationship. I might be wrong, but I would literally bet my left kidney that that's what happened.
Yeah, you could be wrong, but
I could be wrong, but it seems all very severe and then very instant to go to Bali and fall in love and come back. And because 2 weeks to announce you've got a new girlfriend after just breaking up, to me, that's like, oh, in his mind, that's been going on for a while. He needed that to like solidify. Look, it's easy to give advice when it seems so clear cut. Your family and your friends are right. I would not be giving somebody who could so easily dispose of our life, our relationship, the fact that we were living together, the fact that we were talking about getting married. Like you weren't just casually dating and he was still deciding what he wanted. You had a whole committed life together and it was 2 years, which 2 years is a long time when you've been in a relationship, but it's not a long time for someone to turn around, cheat on you, leave you, and then come back and say, oh my God, I made a terrible mistake. I only want to be with you. I would not be giving him a second chance. I would not be giving him the opportunity to hurt me in the way that he has done this.
I've got slightly different advice.
Oh,
I agree with everything you said.
okay.
But I think that that is the obvious on paper answer that everyone would say. Fuck him. You're better than that. The fact is, you were with him for 2 years, you lived together, you saw your life together, you love him. And we know that someone can do the wrong thing and it doesn't change the fact that you still love him. The fact that you've written this to us means it is not clear cut for you. You don't know if you should go back, so you probably do still have feelings. My advice would be to take him up, not to go back to him, not to give him anything. Take him up on the couples counseling. Go to a session with your eyes wide open. Listen to what he has to say. You say your part. Let the therapist give their opinion. Then I would maybe even have a session off the back of that alone so you can go through things because you've obviously got to work through some things in your head. I think you'll end up getting to the answer of not being together. Like I think that's where you're going to end up. But sometimes you need to take the harder route to find it. Like sometimes it's not as clear cut as your friends just going, he's a fuckwit, don't go there. I wish it were that easy, but it's not. I've been in those situations. I've been with absolute turd burgers who I would have tried to go back to because you need to get there on your own. That's what my advice would be in this situation.
Oh, I feel so differently about this.
You went back to problematic partners many times.
Of course I did. And I wish I had more self-confidence and I had more trust that I was going to meet someone better and that I had more love and compassion for myself than the love and compassion I had for them. That's the reality. The reason why I kept going back and going back and going back was because I was like, they've got bad mental health. They're in a bad space. They're the ones who are hurting and I wanted to fix them and I wanted to be with them. I didn't care about what it was doing to my mental health. I didn't care about how it was absolutely eroding my self-confidence and my ability to like my friendships, the way my family saw me. Like it is, and I think, a very, very dangerous place for you to get into to go to couples therapy with him because it gives him every opportunity to victimize himself in this situation. Yes, he may be going through a bad place. He's also going through a breakup right now, right? He left you to be with someone else. He's been with that person for 8 months. He left you with the confidence that that was going to be a relationship that worked out. And now his life is in tatters and he's come crawling back to what was safe, familiar, and who's going to make him feel better. Oh, that girl who loves me so much that will take me back even if I've been with someone else for 8 months. He's trying to fix a hole in him, right? And yeah, he's saying he'll go to therapy, he'll do all the things. No doubt he'll do that. I think you deserve better. I think you need to have the trust and faith in yourself that you will meet someone who you love more than him and who treats you better than this.
I don't disagree with any of what you're saying. I just think it's not as easy for people to find that on their own. We can say to the cows come home, every one of us in this room has been in that position where we know we should deserve better. We know we shouldn't go back. Every single person listening now knows how hard that is, if only it were that easy. I don't think you go back to him to work it out. I think you just say, okay, cool, let's go to a therapy session. Let's hear what you have to say, but not somewhere that can be manipulated, not in the privacy of your own home when no one else can hear it. You go to a professional, you sit down. This is just my opinion. I just think if you are that confused about it, you take it to a couples counselor. A counselor's job isn't to necessarily... like a relationship counselor, it's not necessarily to butter you up and get you back together. That's not what it is. This is why I think you go together, you both say your part, then you have a session on your own. There is a high chance that therapist is going to tell you exactly what you need to hear, which is you deserve better. This isn't a normal response to a breakup. This isn't how people treat you. This isn't filled with respect. You don't need us to tell you that. The way that he acted towards you was gross. It was very disrespectful. It's not something that says, hey, I loved you for 2 years and I'm in a relationship with you. It's disgusting. Do I think you should go back with him? No. I just want you to get there in a way that is healthy and safe for yourself. And that's advice I wouldn't have given 10 years ago. I would have said, fuck him off.
I think it's a place that you have to get there on your own. I don't think you can get there.
Sometimes people can't get there on their own.
No, they can. They can.
No,
in
I mean
time.
with a therapist.
Yeah, but not with him in therapy. That's what I think is different. The other thing as well is be really careful about time and time frames of this, right? Because like you cannot get straight back into a relationship with him and think that your relationship is going to be where it was 2 years ago or 8 months ago. Like that doesn't happen. He can't just monkey branch from this breakup back into the relationship with you as it was before he did all this damage. It's like, if he genuinely, and I'm talking genuinely, thinks he made the wrong decision and he genuinely wants to do better, then he needs to have time on his own to work on that before doing it with you. Like if you need to go and speak to a therapist, go and do this on your own. Go and book in and speak to a third party and have a conversation with them, because this idea that like you can fix this band-aid of what he's going through by now you guys being back together and actually he just made a terrible mistake. It's great for him. It's a very dangerous place for you. And I think you are absolutely prolonging so much hurt for yourself. This is going to be toxicity that goes on for years.
It's also really tough when all your family and friends hate him now.
Totally.
So even if you guys worked through it and he was the best person in the world, hypothetically, they still hate him. They won't forget what he did. They won't forget the way he treated you. And you'll probably never forget, even if you work through it. It's always never as easy as like, okay, they're sorry for what they did. Let's go back to normal. There's no normal now. There's no old relationship. It's a new relationship. And it's everything will look different. That's something you need to be hyper aware of.
Yeah, there's also a few other things to look at, right? Like people show you their true colors when they don't need you anymore. So when he came home and he broke up with you after 2 years, what happened? He announced a new relationship 2 weeks later. Did he completely discard you? Was he still texting you? Were you completely just like cut from his life? Like, was he cruel? Those characteristics are traits of who he is. They're not just like byproducts of like, oh, he was in a bad place. Like that is a telltale sign that he is somebody who prioritizes his own thoughts and feelings over how he's going to treat you. And when he wants you and you're in his orbit, he'll be wonderful. And the second he doesn't need you anymore, he would discard you as though you're nothing. Like, you know, sometimes it's so easy to give the advice that is just effing leave. And it is because it is so obvious. I understand once you're trauma bonded to someone, you've had the highs and lows of a breakup and all that sort of stuff, we can over romanticize what could come of this. But I genuinely think for you and for yourself and for your own self-preservation, like you need to have some time and you need to work on you and you need to like figure out if this is what you want, because this sounds like an absolute fucking hot mess to me.
Yeah, a lot of people might disagree with what I'm about to say, but I think it's important to say it. I don't have a problem with somebody but thinking that they're in the wrong relationship, going out into the big wide world and realizing that that original person was for them. That is fine, but it is what goes on in the relationship and in the breakup that matters. Like we said, was it respectful? Was there cheating? Was he a cockhead to you, your family, didn't respect your feelings? All of that goes into it. But just the idea of, I don't want people to be like, he should have known what he had at the time. And I'm not just talking about this question now. I'm talking about anyone listening. That's okay for people to be confused about what they want. It really is. We're not going to go through 60 years of our life being 100% sure about every single decision we've ever made. But it's the way that you act in that situation that is the telltale sign.
Yeah, absolutely. It's how you treat people.
Yeah.
I feel like I did this. I feel like I did this type of relationship for years of my 20s. And I've just realized that it doesn't have to be this dramatic. It doesn't have to be this stressful. And it really, really shouldn't be. And like, he's saying, I've got massive issues and I need to do this. Go and do it then, pal. You've got massive issues. Go and have the therapy. Go and sort yourself out. Go and figure yourself out so that you're not using other humans as an emotional crutch, because he can't figure that out whilst he's with you. And you deserve better than what he's giving you. You deserve so much better than this. Yeah. And that's why it seems so black and white to everybody else.